Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled My Wife May Be Cheating. And guys, this is a story about a guy who was away on a business trip. And basically this business trip was going to help determine whether he was going to be relocating on another part of the country for a higher position in his company. And basically his wife of 31 years isn't very happy about them leaving. In fact, she's very, very upset about the whole thing. And so he decides to come home a day early to talk to her about and console her and all that. And he comes home, and lo and behold, he finds her on the couch with some other dude, a friend of hers and an acquaintance of his. And they've cracked open a bottle of wine, and they're having drinks together. And obviously she had made a meal, dishes in the sink, when normally she doesn't cook anything when he's away. And last but not least, when he went in the bedroom, he saw that the bed had been unmade, and it's a big mess and all that. So, pretty suspicious environment. And of course, she denies the whole thing and leads this whole thing in drama dealing with her. And it goes to show you guys, even after 30-some years, this type of crap can happen. And all about the drama with her and divorce, not wanting to move, and just very interesting story. So I'm going to share this with you guys because this may hit home with some of you guys. And just again, to let you know what can happen even if you're married for 30 years. So it starts off saying, I came home from a business trip early to find my wife entertaining an acquaintance. She prepared a meal and wine. Now is locked in the bedroom. I am 54 years old and my wife 55. We've been married for 31 years. We live on the West Coast. 20 years ago, my company moved our little family, 3 kids, to the East Coast. Over the years, I have taken on more responsibility and am currently a vice president of West Coast operations. I latched onto the coattails of a man who became my mentor. When he was promoted to North American VP, I took his spot. He is now retiring. He has encouraged me to put my hat in the ring to replace him. If I get the position, it would mean moving back to the East Coast where we grew up. We are well established where we are. We are involved in the community through charitable works of my company's foundation and our own personal charities that we work with. Our kids are grown now and scattered across the country. None of them live with us. Our weekends are usually full of events or traveling to see the kids and families. I discussed this with my wife. She has some issues with me getting the position. She is not sure she wants to uproot everything. The move would take us back to near our extended families. One of our kids would be about 200 miles away. This probably my last move up in the company because of my age and position, and there is nowhere else to go. We have discussed this and came to the conclusion to do the interviews as it won't hurt anything. My boss/friend is pushing me. I know many of the board members as some come to the charity events we participate in. I also know the upper management quite well because of the years I have been there. I have to emphasize here, again, my wife is having a hard time with this. I understand completely how she feels. Now, ordinarily, this sounds like an understandable situation. You know, if the wife and him built a life in this one place and she's in her 50s and doesn't want to pick up and leave, that's reasonable, you know. But as you're going to find out, guys, I think there's obviously something going on behind the scenes here. There's another reason why she doesn't want to move. He continues, so I went to interviews this week. Flew back east to headquarters. Interviews went well. 3 other internal candidates, and they are looking outside the company as well. I had to sell myself to them. They did not try to sell the position to me. So I know that I am not a sure thing here. I talked to the wife each night. She started crying that she did not want to keep me from this promotion. We would talk when I got back. I know she was emotional because of the move, but this was out of the norm for her. The last interview was Thursday. I was staying and flying back on Friday. However, I caught a flight back on Thursday to see what was up. This is where it gets interesting. I had to build this up, guys, and tell you what's going on. I know that part kind of dragged, but here's where things get interesting. He says, I walked in the door about 9 p.m., and she's on the couch with a guy named Sam, I know for some charity work. There's an empty wine bottle. I asked what was going on. She said that Sam stopped over to talk about an upcoming event. Having a drink with a guest is not unusual when I am there. I take my bag to the bedroom. The bed is unmade. We always make the bed every morning. It's a habit of accomplishing something every day, never miss. I walk back out and Sam is leaving. We say goodbye and the wife kisses me and asks why I'm home a day early. I walk past her into the kitchen, dishes on the table, pots on the stove. She made dinner. I asked, what is going on here? Oh, I was cooking, so I asked Sam for dinner. My wife seldom, if ever, cooks a full meal when I'm gone. So, okay, I don't know about you guys, but I find this whole situation very fishy, okay? He says she hardly ever cooks when he's gone, but she randomly decided to cook a big meal and invite this dude over. He goes in the bedroom, bed's all messed up and unmade, even though he says religiously every day they get up in the morning, make their bed because it's a sense of accomplishment. I do the same thing. So a lot of people do that. So something's definitely up here. Goes on. She asks again, why are you home so early? Listen to her focusing on that. She is really nervous and visibly shaking. I told her I knew she was upset with the potential move and wanted to talk with her. I then told her, I think you need to tell me what the hell is going on. She starts crying hysterically and blubbering something I could not understand. Now she's a bit tipsy from the wine, but I can see she is sobering up quick. She says nothing is going on. Why do you say that? I'm usually pretty calm, but I lost it. It looks like you're screwing Sam. Do I have that right? She said to stop yelling and went to the bedroom and locked the door. Something's up here. The fact that she's going at me, she's married this guy 30 years. It's not like he's going to hurt her or anything like that, but now she's wigging out and wondering why he's coming home a day early. Meanwhile, she's doing all this suspicious stuff here. But, the old joke about accountability and all. And runs in and locks the door like a little 6-year-old. So now it's Saturday. She only came out to grab something to eat while I was on the phone and ran back into the room. How ridiculous. So she's been in there for he came back Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, now it's Saturday. So 3 days she's locked herself in the room. What the hell? I mean, something's definitely up here. Grow up, lady. I have asked her to come out and talk. I promise not to yell. I know she is deflecting, trying to come up with a reasonable, explainable excuse. What else can I do? I need some clothes for sure. Took what I have out of the laundry. I am praying there's a reasonable answer, but with her being locked up, I don't think so. My boss called me and set another round of interviews next week. I don't know whether to stay for the marriage or to continue the interviews. I already bailed on a dinner tonight since she won't answer me through the door. I really have no one to bounce this off on. My eldest son and I are best buds, but I can't take this to him. Help me think straight. Well, this is a good guy. Good for him for not involving the kids, because that can cause a whole lot of problems and all that. Even though he's well within his rights to say your mom's fucking lost it here. But seriously, he comes home to all this shit and she's locked herself in the room for 3 days and won't talk to him and trying to make him out like he's the villain here. Come on here. So he then provides an update on things and says, I just want to update what has transpired since the post yesterday. Shortly after I posted Saturday, I finally was able to get her to come out of the bedroom. She had me assure her that I would not yell. I just wanted to talk. I wonder if this guy's like a crazy yeller, because he's really focusing on the yelling thing. So I went over everything I saw. The unmade bed, the dinner, the wine, Sam leaving right away. She asked what was wrong with any of it. Come on here, lady. What would she do? What would she think if she came home from a business trip or any trip a day early and found him sitting on the couch with some chick that she knew, cracked open a bottle of wine, having a good time, plates on the table, pots in the sink, knowing that he doesn't normally cook, and last but not least, saw the bed all messed up. What the hell would she think? She would freak out. So give me a break here. Come on. She says she did not make the bed that day. She was trying out a new recipe. She had wine with dinner and finished it after. Probably drank too much. Sam is a longtime bachelor. His wife passed away 7 years ago. He stays busy with some of the charities we work with. I just shook my head. I know what I was seeing, but she had an explanation for it all. Well, sure, because she had 3 days in the bedroom to figure out an answer for every possible question this guy could have. And also twist things around, make him feel bad for thinking these things and wondering what the hell is going on. Sound familiar to any of you guys? Goes on. I asked why she would not open the door. She started with saying she was afraid of me. She knows that I have never laid a hand on anyone since the 8th grade. It's not me. I would rather talk things through or separate until everyone cools down. The other reason was she was not ready to tell me something else. Ooh, what could that be? We have known of the position opening since April. My boss presented to the board his plan to retire at the end of the year. They want the position filled by the 4th quarter. There would be a time when the incoming VP would work alongside the boss. My boss has vacation time accumulated so that he wouldn't be working much in December. He gave us a heads up shortly after notifying the board. The wife and I talked about it since then. She has expressed that she did not want to start her life over again. She has a nice career. Her company does not have a branch back east. She would have to job hunt. I told her she could just not work, but feels that she'd be unfulfilled. Okay, I'm a fair guy. That's reasonable. She's had a place. They've lived there for a while, and she doesn't want to start over, and her company doesn't have a branch where they're going. No, I understand that. But you talk about these things. You don't have some fling going on behind the scenes, and you guys are going to see what else is going on here, So this isn't just about that part. Okay, if it was about that, if that was the only thing, that's understandable, okay? But it isn't just that. Continues. She really thinks I will get the promotion because of my boss. I told her over and over that it's not final until the board votes on a candidate. So she's decided she would rather divorce than move. And there you go. She just wasn't ready for me to come home early. She had not in her mind how to tell me. She knew it would crush me. We have a very solid marriage up until now. Well, so this guy thought. We do not put on a show for others since we are in public so much. Sex is still good, has diminished in frequency as we have aged. We both initiate. We are very much each other's best friend. She was right. I am crushed. I asked what was her plan if I didn't get the job. Her answer was that everything stays the same then. I asked her if she was crazy. Did she think I would forget or forgive? So in other words, I want to divorce you because you're going to move and all that. But if you don't move, I want to stay together. And the guy's like, what the hell? And on top of all the fact that he came home with her with some other dude there. Let's be honest here. Given all the stories I've read and the videos and all that, we know something's going on here. Come on here. So he says, I called my lawyer. We are friends also. Me calling on the weekend is not an infringement into his personal time. After pleasantries, he listened to me and I mentioned potential divorce. He stopped me there. He says, I cannot represent you. The wife has already hired him. Ouch. I asked if he knew someone else. He said he will send me a list of names from other firms. He told me he personally will not handle the divorce. He will hand it over to another associate in the firm. I still have an uneasy feeling on what I saw. So I took a couple of commentators' suggestions. I called Sam, the dude that was over. I explained him very calmly that the wife and I talked. Now I want to hear from him. He gave me the same story word for word, like it was rehearsed. Damn right it was rehearsed. He's probably on the phone with him in the bedroom, getting the story down with him in case the guy would ask him. She obviously knows her husband after 30-some years. Then I got a hold of the wife's phone. It was scrubbed clean. Only messages from Saturday night and today. I guess I'm getting divorced anyways. Why should it matter? But it does. A few years ago, I was off work for a couple months due to some medical issues. I had the company install an office in my home. I took one of the kids' old rooms and made a home office. I had a couple of the IT guys come over and get me set up. At the time, it was better than my office at work. So I called one of the guys to ask if they can retrieve erased messages and call logs that were deleted from a Samsung S10. He said it was easy, Google it. I asked him if he could walk me through it. So after a bit, we had most of the records restored. I searched the phone and found lots of calls to one number. Gee, I wonder who that could be. I don't know who. A few months ago, I found Sam's number, lots of calls recently. I checked the text, nothing overly sexual, but certainly not charity related. Lots of meetup plans. As I am finishing, the wife knocks on the door as I lock myself in. She asks if I've seen her phone. I opened the door and said, yeah, I have it fixed. She asked what I meant. I told her that I saw her call logs and messages were deleted, so I restored them. Her mouth dropped open. She stuttered. Then came to the obligatory, "You went through my phone?" She snatched the phone and stormed away. I called after her. "We need to talk some more." She went out the door, and I've not seen or heard from her all day. So Monday, I need to call the lawyer. I've already been through bank records. No money has been moved around. I printed balances as of today. I now need to call my kids. Damn, that's gonna suck, having to call and tell them what's going on. I see that she had called each on Saturday. Aha, so she's already she has a thing going on with the guy. Let's be honest, we know what's going on. Obviously planning for this divorce anyway. She calls. Not only does she call a lawyer trying to get things rolling, but she calls the lawyer that's her husband's friend to add insult to injury, so he can't use him. And now she's already talking to the kids, and she gets to let them know her views on this whole thing first. I think the well has been poisoned. It's starting to set in. She is my life, my partner. Now she'll be gone. I feel like when my parents died. How can I go to such a position without her by my side? And he finally ends this saying, through all this, she's maintaining there is no cheating. She keeps saying that and may look like it, but she would never do that to me. Yeah, well, after all the things that are going on, you can't blame the guy for thinking that. I mean, you connect all the dots here. Something's obviously going on here. I mean, come on here. The erased phone calls and messages and all that. Again, coming home to the bed messed up, the dude in the house, the food cooked when she normally doesn't do that stuff, and the fact that she contacted the lawyer, his friend, and contacted the kids, making all these preparations. And I'm sure there's way more stuff going on than this guy realizes at this time. So, but that sucks. I mean, he was with this woman for 30-some years. In his view, that they're great, which when usually guys think things are great, things are not great. Sees her as his best friend, and then just all this shit after 30-some years. So this goes to show you guys, this doesn't just happen after a couple of years when things go south. This can happen after 30 years. So, and it's really unfortunate because this guy's probably a very good guy, worked hard for his family, all that, and here he is. But you know what? At the end of the day, he can move on. And let's just say he's been married for 31 years. Let's just say he got married in his 20s, as most guys do, especially back then. Well, then he's probably in his mid-50s, upper 50s. Well, he still has plenty of life to live, so he can then start over and get a clean slate. Even though it hurts, he can get a clean slate, go get that better job, make more money, and then have fun. Do what he wants to do, because he probably made a lot of sacrifices for the family. And he can have a good life. And he can then, if he wants to, once he heals, probably have fun meeting and dating and hooking up with other women, probably a lot younger, and do that. But I guarantee he's going to think twice if he ever considers getting married again after what happened. It's sad, but this shit happens. This is why I'm against marriage. So I'm not saying it all happens that way, but all the stories I've done, it's crazy. Not to mention all the emails I get from you guys telling about your situations. So, but anyhow, guys, that's just another story, another example of this crazy shit that happens all the time. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you think that nothing was going on with the wife. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.